Okay, so I just did a video reading this script to you, and the script came from a very odd source. It was connected to the Pearl Harbor incident, and there is a professor that was linked to the original Pearl Harbor, which it's a telegraph. It looks like a publication, but it's a telegraph. And according to DFMD, the telegraphs come out of the top ones like military.com, defensenews.com, and Navy Times. Well, this one came out of military.com. And then there were another like 50 or 60, ensuing different documents. Now, I took one of the names because I've learned how to read a lot of what they do, and I turned it around, and I don't know a lot of other things. I mean, there's so much pertaining to this inside stuff that I don't know. But I found this really awesome tool, and it's called a cipher tool. And so I put in here what this might be, and it didn't come up with anything on that one. Now, it gave a bunch of them: BFID cipher, AMSCO cipher, Trithmaeus Ave Marie. So the Trithmaeus Ave Marie is the one that I just looked at, the first one. And I put the code in here, which was just the reading, what I was reading today in a video earlier today, titled There's More to Pearl Harbor. So I put this in, and it comes up, it says Latin decode MNN, and then MMMMM, N, MMMN, MMMMMN. Okay, so I don't really see anything out of there outside of the fact that it does say Latin decode. I'm so sorry, guys. Now we're going to put it into the BiFID cipher. So let's see what happens here. So we put in the cipher text here. We're going to paste this. Okay. And we're going to decrypt. It gives me an error because there's characters that are not distinct. Okay, so that can't be it either. There was one in here, NATO, phonetic alphabet. Now that's actually, which is really weird because that's part of DFMD. So I'm going to put this in here like this. I'm going to put in decrypt. Oh, wow. And it did come up with something. Oh, wow. So I'm going to leave this on the post. This is going to be on post. This is post number 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add it to this so then it's all together. I mean, if you want to figure out like, oh, what video is she talking about? What text is she talking about? I'm going to explain something to you really quick. There is a very good reason why I do not record these together. There's a very good reason that I put them in pieces, because then videos vanish. Things don't get uploaded, and they literally vanish. So I have to do it separate of one another in order for it to all be said. Okay? So my whole story is that because I'm not on the inside, you guys. So there's a lot that I do not know. I'm learning something new every single day. And I was pretty astonished that I could actually read this in the first place. And when I came across the book, I was like, no way. No way. Is this what I think it is? And then I dug a little bit. And when I started digging, the more that I uncovered, the more mind blown I became. And then I started sharing it and trying to share with everybody exactly what I was seeing And they were coming in, messing with my feeds. They were cutting me short. They were making videos have no voice. They were making videos vanish and all kinds of things. And I was like, yeah, I'm over the target. So I'm going to keep working this. So I kept reading this cipher like a book. I just kept reading it, going through it and going through it. And the more that I read it and the more that I looked at the news, I was like, oh my gosh, I see how this works. Now, it looks just like a bunch of line items when you're looking at it, you know? No matter where you're at in this, it looks like a bunch of line items. And we could just take a peek at one of them. Like, this is the first book. But here is Long Nose. This is just one word and it has 16 pages. So if I went through reading it, Ethernet Switched Optical Network, Alamedia Networks, Edmonton Science Outreach Network, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, Editor Society of Nepal, European Southern Observatory. It just sounds like a bunch of line items. But the more that you read it, and the more that you look into those line items, you begin to realize these aren't line items after all. They're not just regular line items. This is like having every key term necessary to understand the entire system that's put in place. DFMD has the whole system in its names broken down. Now, I've made many connections. I called White Island before it happened. I said Alabama was going to happen 2 weeks before it did. I've got video witness, two witnesses on that, and I matched them up. I mean, then Tomato Nation, that telegraph was enough to floor anyone because they're telling Don happy birthday and they're thanking SARS. That's with intent. So I'm going to include this down at the bottom of this. I'm going to, I've already included on the blog post the entire, this is the entire document. And I show where it actually came from too, because it shows here, declassified documents released today, 2021. And there's the professor's name, Chakazawa, that was of Nihon University, that was related to it. So it turned into a page. I copied it and pasted it, and immediately that page turned into a congratulations, you are 23,000, whatever. So they obviously didn't want me to get a hold of that. I'm going to say this. There's a lot of people who are following me who know about this. You're following me, you're listening to me, you are, just scrutinizing everything that I do because of the fact that I've run into this. Do you realize, if you're an American, do you realize that by you not saying anything and by you upholding the things that they would have you to do, that you are condoning the killing of tens of millions of Americans? That puts blood on your hands. I witnessed the lady the other day turn in her badge, nursing, because she didn't like the way the industry was going and she just really couldn't have no part in it. I commend her. I can imagine that her financial situation would end up being really harsh. It was going to be really rough for her and her family because she gave up an entire, finance. She just threw it away, said, hey, I can't do this because the moral degradation here that's happening, I don't want no part of it. That's what we all should be doing. At the end of the day, this world's about your soul. And that's the whole reason why I came into this whole plan in the first place. It's because this was confirmation to me that everything that I had seen when I was out in the wilderness was in fact true. You guys are hunting citizens. You're hunting them like prey. And you think that nobody sees you. Well, God sees everything. He sees literally everything. I was sitting here. It's funny because as part of one of the articles was reading about metals being in the meats. that has to do with this telegraph set. And I showed in the video prior that, there was a lady saying, oh my gosh, there's a magnet sticking to our meat. I just seen another video where a gentleman was taking a metal detector and was putting it up to the water that was coming out of his faucet. He put it up to the water that was in a bottle. He put it up to his cake that he got from Starbucks. And he's like, no wonder God's got to destroy everything, because all of flesh has been tainted. And it has. DFMD showed me that they would be changing everybody. So there's some of you that you're under the control of Satan. You just really have no idea that you are. You may look like you're winning, but you're not. Because there's promises. It's like I've been in the Bible. That's why you guys don't scare me at all. I've been in my Bible. I've been reading, and I know without a shadow of a doubt that Jesus Christ is coming back to recompense the world. I don't care what you guys can do to my flesh, but I sure do care about what Jesus Christ can do to my soul. And, I pray for you guys as the ground shakes out here, because changing the landscape so that tens of millions of Americans will perish is evil. It's so evil. But did you know that every single person that you had it out for, that you hated because they had the light of God in them, because they professed Jesus Christ, did you know that each one of them are going to be safe? I do. I know they're going to be safe. And you, on the other hand, well, that's another story. If I were you, I'd take some time to get on my knees and repent. But unfortunately, I know you're hard-headed, stubborn, stuck in your arrogance, and you're so lofty. Nobody could make you come low except for the Most High God. When you hit those knees, remember this, that because you failed to feed yourself knowledge or listen to the voice of God, He will also fail to listen to you. Take care, take charge, and I'll talk to you guys later.